the hype from Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese playing in college, obviously, and having their fans kind of follow the league. I think even just being in New York, I think my first few years I was in Connecticut, but being in New York City, man, it's been amazing. And that culminated with everything that's been going on with the league has been.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to have millions of fans and thousands of haters? That's Caitlin Clark's world right now. The rookie sensation is facing a storm of online hate, but she's not alone in this fight. Jonquel Jones, fresh off her WNBA Finals MVP win, just entered the chat. And let me tell you, she's not pulling any punches. Jones is calling out the bullies and exposing the truth behind the hate. Want to know what's really going on? Keep watching. You know what's wild? Jonquel Jones, the WNBA Finals MVP, just jumped into this Caitlin Clark drama. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. Let's talk about why this is such a big deal. Jones isn't just some random player. She's a superstar, a force to be reckoned with on the court. We're talking about someone who dominates games and wins championships. So when she speaks up, people listen. But here's where it gets really crazy. Jones is defending someone she's never even played against. Can you imagine that? It's like LeBron James standing up for a rookie he's only seen on TV. That's how big this is. Now put yourself in Clark's shoes for a second. You're the new kid in the league trying to prove yourself, and suddenly, one of the best players in the game has your back. That's gotta feel amazing, right? But Jones didn't just offer some weak, hey, leave her alone kind of support. No way. She went all in, calling out the entire media circus around Clark. She's not playing around. You won't believe what Jones said about Clark's fans. It's not what you'd expect at all. She's not buying into all the negative hype. Instead, she's pointing out how unfair it is to label Clark and her fans the way some people have been doing. Jones is basically saying, hold up, let's look at what's really going on here. She's calling out the unfair treatment Clark's been getting. It's like she's shining a spotlight on all the behind-the-scenes stuff we don't usually see.
But just all the things that we've kind of been doing over the years as well, trying to grow the league and making sure that our faces are seen. I think the social aspect of it has changed too. Like before you would get on social media and you would go under like a WNBA post and it would be like people talking crazy. Like I came from a small school, so it was kind of like a double whammy for me, just like being in a smaller market and not really being able to kind of.
And you know what? This is just the beginning. Jones is about to drop some serious truth bombs that'll make you see this whole situation in a completely different light. She's not holding back, and she's got a lot more to say. So stick around because things are about to get real interesting. Jones is about to break down what's really happening with Clark, her fans, and the whole WNBA. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. It's gonna change how you look at the game and the players in it. You've heard all the noise about Caitlin Clark's fans, right? But what if I told you most of that drama is just smoke and mirrors? Jonquel Jones is about to blow the lid off this whole situation. And trust me, it's gonna make you question everything you've heard. Let's talk about Clark's fans for a second. You've probably seen people calling them all sorts of crazy names online. It's like everyone's got an opinion, and most of them aren't nice. But here's the thing. Is that really fair? I mean, come on. Most of these fans are just regular people who love watching great basketball. They're not out there trying to start fights or cause trouble. But you know what's wild. Some people are using this whole Clark situation to push their own agendas. It's like they're taking advantage of all the attention she's getting. That's insane, right? They're turning it into something it's not, and it's making everything way more dramatic than it needs to be. Now, listen to this. Jones dropped a truth bomb about Clark's fans, and it's gonna blow your mind. She said only a tiny fraction of fans might actually be causing problems. Imagine this. Picture 1 million Fever fans packed into a stadium. Now, out of all those people, only a few thousand are actually stirring up trouble. That's nothing. But online, it looks way bigger than it really is. You know what's even crazier? Clark herself spoke up about these so-called fans. She straight up called out the trolls, saying they're not real supporters at all. Can you believe that? The star player is telling these troublemakers to back off. That's some serious courage right there. So what's the real truth about Caitlin Clark's fan base? They're mostly just regular folks who love the game. But a few bad apples and some overblown media coverage are making it seem way worse than it is. It's like a few people yelling in an empty room. It sounds louder than it really is. But here's the kicker. While everyone's focused on this drama, they're missing the real story. The WNBA is growing like crazy. More people are watching, more fans are showing up to games. But you don't hear about that as much, do you? It's like the good news is getting buried under all this other stuff. So next time you see some wild headline about Clark's fans, remember this. It's probably not as bad as they're making it out to be. The real story? It's about great basketball and a league that's on the rise. And that's something worth cheering about. Speaking of wild headlines, let's talk about how quickly things can change. 1 minute, Caitlin Clark's breaking records left and right. The next, it's all about drama and finger pointing. What's going on here? The answer might surprise you, and it's got Jonquel Jones fired up. You've seen all those flashy headlines about Caitlin Clark, right? But here's the thing, are you really getting the whole story? I'm talking about the real deal, not just the drama they're trying to sell you. Let's break it down. The media's gone crazy over Clark. It's not just about her insane skills on the court anymore. Nope, they've turned it into this huge, messy circus. And you know what? It's getting out of hand. Think about it. One day, we're all cheering for Clark's record-breaking performances. The next, bam, it's all accusations and finger-pointing. That's not cool, and Jonquel Jones is calling it out. Jones isn't holding back. She's saying the media's got it all wrong. They're making a big deal out of nothing, trying to stir up drama where there isn't any. And you know why? Clicks, views, all that stuff. They're not telling you the whole truth, and it's messing everything up. You won't believe this, but Jones says the media's even making up stories. Remember that whole thing about Clark getting hate for liking a Taylor Swift post? Yeah, that never happened. Jones straight up said, Caitlin Clark did not get any backlash for liking the Taylor Swift post. Can you believe that? They're just making stuff up now. But here's where it gets really crazy. Jones is saying that all this fake drama is taking away from the real issues. She's not saying there's no racism in sports. That stuff's real, and it's a problem. But she thinks the media's going overboard with Clark's situation. In her words, to act as if what we saw in the WNBA is prototypical racism, I think is misguided. So what's the media getting wrong about Caitlin Clark? Pretty much everything. They're turning a great basketball story into some kind of soap opera. And it's not just annoying, it's actually hurting the league. Jones is worried about what this means for the WNBA. She's calling for change, saying, I hope that the WNBA gets it in order and make sure that they have things in place because yeah, no one wants to play in a situation like that. She's right. Who wants to play in a league where the media's always stirring up fake drama? But here's where it gets really interesting. The real story? It's about to blow your mind. While everyone's focused on this made-up drama, they're missing the big picture. The WNBA is growing, fans are loving it, and players like Clark and Jones are taking the game to a whole new level. That's the story we should be talking about. All right, forget about Clark for a second. There's something bigger happening here, and it's gonna change everything. You know how they say one person can't make a difference? Well, Jonquel Jones is about to prove that dead wrong. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark anymore. It's about the future of women's basketball. Jones didn't just stand up for Clark. She's challenging all of us to think differently about women's sports. That's huge. Think about it. We're watching a few negative comments overshadow all the amazing things happening in women's basketball. It's crazy. But here's the kicker. TV ratings are through the roof. More fans are showing up to games than ever before. So why aren't we hearing more about that? It's like the good news is getting buried under all this drama. Jones isn't just talking. She's using her platform to push for real change in the WNBA. You gotta respect that. She's not afraid to call out the media when they get it wrong. Remember when she said, Caitlin Clark did not get any backlash for liking the Taylor Swift post? That's Jones exposing how the media sometimes makes up stories just to create drama. But it's not just about calling out the bad stuff. Jones is shining a light on the real issues. She's saying, to act as if what we saw in the WNBA is prototypical racism, I think is misguided. She's not denying that racism exists in sports. She's just saying we need to be careful about how we talk about these things. This moment isn't just about one player. It's about all the voices that will shape the future of the game. Jones is showing us how powerful athletes can be when they speak up. She's not just defending Clark, she's standing up for the whole league. So why are Jonquel Jones's words so important for women's basketball? Because she's changing the conversation. She's pushing us to focus on the amazing growth of the sport, not just the drama. She's showing us that players have the power to shape how their sport is seen and talked about. Now let's talk about what this means for you and the future of the sport. Imagine a WNBA where the focus is on the incredible athleticism, the nail-biting games, and the growing fan base. That's the future Jones is fighting for. And you know what? You're part of it too. Every time you watch a game, cheer for your team, or talk about the WNBA, you're helping shape that future. So what are you waiting for? The game is changing, and you've got a front row seat. So there you have it, folks. Jonquel Jones didn't just stick up for Caitlin Clark. She lit a fire under the whole women's basketball world. This isn't just about one player anymore. It's about changing the game for good. Next time you're watching a WNBA game, don't just look at the scoreboard. Think about what's really going on. The drama, the excitement, the passion, it's all there. And you know what? You're not just watching history. You're part of it. The future of women's basketball is happening right now, right in front of your eyes. It's growing, it's changing, and it's more exciting than ever. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and support your team. Cheer louder, buy those tickets, rock that jersey, because every time you do, you're helping shape the future of the sport. This is your moment. Let's make it count.